Hello everyone, welcome back. So yes, the server restart actually was much faster than anticipated. It looks like everything is working as expected. Oh, one sec, PokerStars is closed there for a minute for some reason again. Let me see if we can get logged in. We're going to try and play maybe an hour and a bit of Spin and Goes because I really thought we were just going to be gaming today. Having said that, my attempts at Baldur's Gate were embarrassing to say the least. So let's see if we can fire up stars. And if we can indeed get back online, we will fire up some spins. Okay, it looks like it's working. Try and get some poker content today. Spinning good. Yeah, let me just see. It looks like it's running, but I'm logged in. Okay, we'll give it a go. We'll see how we get on. If you guys have just joined us, this is the graph that we were just discussing a moment ago. So our Spin and Go progress throughout the year so far, making good progress in the EV department. We're running pretty far below EV and chips, but that's obviously something we hope to resolve over time. So let's see if we can fire a spin, and we'll go from there. Playing the 25s over here. All right, I think we're ready to go. Let's give it a try. Any games about? All right, we're live. Okay, so let's get into some Spin and Goes. We're playing the $25 buy-ins. We're going to play one at a time today. The last time we played Spin and Goes, we were talking about maybe playing a couple more tables on stream, which I'm open to. We did actually get a 2-table setup, didn't we? I think we had a different idea about how we were going to handle that, though, moving forward. You want me to try and update the client? All right, after this game, we'll take a look. Okay, getting raised. We just call. Can we potentially put in another raise? I think calling is fine. 1 over card and the clubs. Do we check again? I think we can check again. We can try and trap him. No, he's not interested apparently. Let's take a look at what he had. Turns up here with 8-6. He had middle pair. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you need another shot now as well, guys. All right, let's play poker. This is something that we should be at least a little bit decent at. Jack 7 fold there is a little bit tight, to be honest. All right, let's slow it down. I know Baldur's Gate is just action-packed, fast-paced content, but we need to take it down a notch for the spins. Vahe says, hi, Nick. I've been watching your content for a while now. Inspiring analysis. Thank you for the content. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I really do. If you'd like to join us on Twitch, feel free, or obviously watch on YouTube, whichever is your preferred platform. It's very kind of you to say so, though. We're back to the poker stuff, guys. Don't worry. I'm not going to put you through much more Baldur's Gate. We were just on a little break there for the server restart, which was in lightning time, I should add. Also, it's funny, as soon as you play a game that's not poker, people are like, Nick, are you not sponsored by Stars anymore? Thought that was a good comment. All right, we're going to limp the trays. We're going to limp jam. Especially against the player that's a reg. I had to abstain from the second one. 1 before 12 is fine. All right, couple hands we can mark for review already. I want to actually mark down that one. Let me take a look here. So refresh this page. We're filtering for today. Mark for review. All right. I think this is a board we can check call on rather than check raise. On the turn, though, I think it's important that we have a lead. So I'm going to mark down that previous one. I want to do a little bit more analysis on my defense with King High. Is this a double gut shot? It's not the best turn to barrel on. It's much harder to get a 7 or a 3 to fold now. We can check and take our equity, I think. I will potentially raise the river, though. This is actually quite a cool line, I think. Against a reg, the big question is whether or not we're really repping an ace like effectively against a reg. And I think it's difficult to convince a reg we wouldn't have bet the turn with the ace. It feels like a really good turn to barrel. Against an unknown, perhaps. It was supposed to go on to like 6, I think, Tom, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's actually do a bluff here. In any case, guys, normal service is resumed. If you guys have any questions or any comments, get them in the chat. We have a nice short delay, so it's a little bit easier to have a bit of a conversation about what's happening. Yeah, Queen 9 is fine to call here. Getting rivered, unfortunately. Let's get on to the next game. Next game, por favore. Was not expecting to play any poker today, to be honest, guys. not till this evening. Was considering maybe a little. Was considering perhaps a little cash action later on. I think we have to float the one at least. We have too many backdoors to fold for 1 into 6. Feels good. Feels good, chat. Oh, thank you, Curling Master. That's very kind of you. You know, I've never been like a top gamer. I've always played video games for, you know, a long time. By the way, Tom, I actually think I have news on the Heads Up Challenge. I've been thinking about how I want to tackle it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the actual big number. I'm not going to go for 250K, primarily because I've fallen behind a little bit too much. I haven't played any volume basically since I kicked it off, but there's other stuff going on behind the scenes. I think what I'll do is I think I'm going to reduce the total amount of buy-ins. I'm still debating whether or not I want to make it spins. I might make it spins instead of heads ups, but I don't know. It's from the very start of the year, I had a pretty clear idea about the sort of short form concept that I wanted to create.
Actually, if only there was someone
it's still going to be something in the same vein. But I've been doing this. I've been doing this short course on short form content, and hey, what's up? Oh, there you go. Thank you very much for the command. It's ! Nick spin. 150K is the biggest jackpot that I played. Cikadava. It's like cicada. Cicada-va. But yeah, Tom, basically I'm thinking I'm going to reduce the number. I might move over to spins. I'm just trying to figure out what's going to be the most entertaining. Like the heads up thing will be cool to follow. But the swings obviously aren't anywhere near as big as they are in heads ups. So the swings might be more entertaining to follow in spins. I could actually use some of the sort of live content that we play as well here as part of the challenge, which is really cool because it actually means I'll probably end up streaming like more short sessions throughout the week, which will be sort of feed into sort of like the long form, short form sort of crossover, if that makes sense. But also the way that I present it in short form, I'm going to change it very slightly, and I think it actually makes more sense to do it the new way. I'm kind of talking in theoreticals right now, but yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, we got to call this one, guys. Wish me luck. This guy theoretically should be a reg, but 10-9 suited has too much equity to fold here. Yeah, beautiful flop, good turn, and we're heads up against a Vindy, which is a reg. Pretty straightforward push here, I think. More folds is better in these situations. Sacramento loyal subscriber. What's up, buddy? Always a pleasure. I'm an expert Pong player on the 17-inch black and white TV. Okay, I don't know. Probably that's a lie. I was going to say I was probably decent at Overwatch, like the original Overwatch. I feel like we're actually supposed to do this some of the time. We're not folding. Now we have to bluff, right? King High can still hero call here. Yeah, Queen is also good. Full boat is a very nice hand. Heads up is tough to keep stream focused. No, I mean, yeah. So the
actually,
thank you very much for the follow, Pat. Appreciate it. So basically, man, the idea was that I would do this almost entirely offline. So the heads up stuff would happen offline, and then it would become short form content. The intention wasn't to play the heads ups on stream, which I think is also somewhat confusing at times because people are seeing that content and then coming over to spins. So actually, I think I'm going to change the challenge to be spins. I'm still going to have a big number, but it's going to be a more manageable number to like do between now and the end of the year. So we have a target. Interesting lead on the turn. But like, I think I was going about, when I was working with my editors to figure out how I want to do the short form, I think I was going about the wrong way. I've been watching this course about short form. I was getting some of the elements right, but like when I was watching it back, I was thinking to myself, like, this probably isn't, when I was watching it back, I was thinking to myself, this is probably, like, there's something about it that wasn't right. And after going through this course, I kind of figured out what it was. I think we do this now, guys. All right, wish me luck. We're going to bluff. Woo! And this one is pretty close to a push. Still be limp at least. But yeah, I'm still formulating. I wanted to get it right when I started. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted to get it right. And every time I was watching the videos that we were sort of testing, the more I was thinking like it's not quite where I want it to be. But after watching this video, it's starting to be more clear in my mind about what it's going to look like. And I think for that reason, and it has a better crossover with the stream content. Pretty clear call. It's a good turn and a good river. All right, 75 bucks in the bank, not bad. But yeah, I might actually take that out for now because like I didn't even announce it initially, but I will still do something in the same vein. I think I played about $26,000 worth of heads ups already. This is an interesting note that I have here. That is a pretty good flop, guys. Do I also play Spinning Go Max? I have played it. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of Spinning Go Max. I don't like. I mean, Spinning Goes for me already have quite a lot of variants. I don't like the additional variants that goes into Spinning Go Max with like the box pulling and stuff. Yeah, I like the bluff too. I had a friend that used to play those a lot, and like the one thing that he said that it's 100% true is it might be the softest format on Stars. Like the players playing that game at all stakes, they're actually really close. But the box picking and like the randomization of the number of players and stuff, like it was too much for me. Like there's too many like sort of carnival games and stuff, which is funny because I actually don't mind carnival games. How's it going, Curtis? Good to see you, buddy. Don't know this guy. Don't recognize this player. Yeah, welcome, dude. Thanks for joining us, mate. Also, like, I wasn't trying to discourage you from watching on YouTube, but on Twitch, there's just a couple more, like, automations, like with the commands and stuff that are a little bit more intuitive. Yeah, that's fair. Pocket nines is fair. All right, like the turn there. Curly Master says, I'm playing it, that's saying something. Story checks out. Yeah, Curly Master, exactly. We're calling a shove here, obviously. The whole point is to trap the ace-jack. Oops, sorry, guys. Trying to turn this on. One sec. This is like one of the worst hands we have, so we'll turn it into the ISO bluff. Feels absolutely fantastic. King 8, we can limp. We're calling a shove, though, if he puts it in here. This is also kind of part of our trap range as well. We trap like a lot of weak kings. Sometimes they'll shove hands like queen deuce. This is a good example of that. I'd say that was a pretty good example of why we trap that hand, but there you are. Nice hand, buddy. I would argue that's a pretty good opportunity. Pretty nice little domination situation. Is there a value bet here? Probably. Manager Jack says, right into the $25 spins. I was hoping to run into you at the fives. We can do some low stakes in the future. Some lower stakes. $5 spins, you know. Think about spinning goes. People are like, oh, you only play the fives. Like a $5 like active, like a $5 active grinder at spinning goes is going to do pretty serious numbers in terms of like dollars invested. Ooh. We are busting this guy up, man. Isn't it traditional to do crazy times? We can do some crazy times, Tom. I'm up for that. We can do a few. I am up for a little crazy time. Cicada says, "Would love to play you, Nick. Unfortunately, my bankroll wouldn't like it." I understand. I mean, it's not too dissimilar from the heads ups I've been playing. Like the bankroll can stand it. We have the roll to play those games, no problem. But it's the playing against extremely good players is not usually a good idea for any bankroll. It doesn't matter the size. Yeah. I want to get better at those spots as well. There's some like really low, like short stacked, like low equity spots where I think we actually do so much better with like a delayed C bet or a delayed bet, not C bet. I always say C bet. Like betting the ace there is going to be fine, but I think it's also an opportunity for a short stacked opponent to check raise a lot with like a lot of hands. Also, just like, you know, if you have 2 overcards to second pair, you probably just always barrel, right? You have a pretty clear way to improve into the best hand most of the time. That's a really nice turn. Can we get the whole stack? This is probably the best way to get paid against this specific player. Like at that point, when we get to the river, he might still hero call with a 9 if we ship, but he's probably got a lot more speculative stuff than that. So I'm actually happy to just have a little bit of an exploit there. Kings is a pretty good hand, guys. What do you think? I mostly play $5 sit and goes or $5 50 11s. That was probably a mistake, actually, guys. I think Kings might even is a check back when we're ultra shallow there. I fucked that one up. Yeah, I love it, man. I've always been a big sit and go guy, Cicada. I've always been much more of a sit and go fan. This one's getting close. It's a little bit too loose though to call with the 9-8. Just ever so slightly. We can push 10-8 profitably here against this guy. I'm just going to find the limp. To be fair, he's been pretty aggressive, like with the short stack, which I think is really good. It's definitely what you want to do. So we don't want to be too critical. And perhaps, you know, in one or two games time, we can just mark this guy up as like pretty proficient. And we'll just play more of a conventional style. I think here we probably always do this though. Like a lot of the king combos are supposed to shove pre-flop. We are getting trapped here at some frequency, but we also still get called by worse sixes and also diamonds. So I think story checks out. In this case, that was a slightly better 6. Ooh, getting lucky on the river feels good. That is a good call with the Jack 6, though, as well, of course. The worst thing about spinning go max is the fact you very often get teased for like a 15x bet, but eventually win 1.5. So the thing that really got me, Cicada, was I remember playing some on the stream, and I was in one of those really awkward spots where I came first, but I ended up winning less than second. I don't mind like some carnival games, but like that just feels really, really tilt. Excuse me? Did we just flop a straight flush? All right, how do we get any money here? We got to go like this, I think. This is the best bet. Did we just flop a straight flush, guys? Is somebody actually going to have a boat here? So we still want to get called by the ace highs, but then we also want to try and convince people to bluff. This actually might be the induce bet that works. He's all in. He's all in. We got paid with a straight flush. We flopped it. We flopped it. That one is a memorable one indeed. We got called by 6-4. 6-4 of hearts. Nice. That's actually fine. That worked out pretty cool with the sizings too. That is exceptionally rare, ladies and gentlemen. Like, people go their whole lives without ever seeing that. I have flopped a royal with 2 cards, and I've flopped a straight flush just now. I think those are the only 2 times I've ever done it. Pretty big c-bet there. That is a juicer, Mac. Yeah, absolutely. All right, heads up against this character. Pretty big c-bets. I think usually when people size their bets like this, it's a pretty good indication of inexperience. We'll start with this tag, and we'll work our way from there. All right, I'm going to fold to the 4x here, surprisingly, but we'll see how that progresses. I don't know if maybe our friend is finding bigger sizes as we get shallower or what. I still remember my first royal, coincidentally my most worthless royal. That's usually the way, though, with these things, isn't it? I lost a massive stack the prior hand, and then with like 1.2 big blinds got a royal. Oh, perfect, yeah. That's a different kind of worthless. All right, we're not really finding too much to work with here. Going to keep an eye on this one. Now just under 10 big blinds deep. Our opponent seems to be playing rather fitter folds. Little trap, little trap, little trap. It's a lot of big blinds to seal back there, guys. Goes up pretty quick there. Min ISO, we're going to call. Probably too big to continue on that board. Can't continue here. Shove Queen Jack for 11. Had a straight flush on stars a couple of times, but don't remember ever having a royal. Yeah, it is hard. Ooh, check the flop. That's unusual. Nice. Very good. That's a really good hand to do it with, actually. I do approve of that one. I approve of that line with the king nine. I think that's actually pretty good. Very spicy indeed. Going to shove the ace king here. Can we grind it back? What's up, Senius? Good to see you. For anyone not in the Discord, I flopped quad aces and lost 2 in a row. The other day I saw that one, mate. That's unreal. That's really crazy. Okay. Got a little opportunity here to grind it back. Got to find a little better than this, though. Our opponent doesn't seem to have any limps heads up, which I guess is going to be a pretty significant leak. Wow, we're not really having any hands here, though, guys. This is pretty ugly. Unplayable stuff. It's pretty rare. Once we get to like 7 big... Wow. Once we get to 7 big blinds, dude, it's pretty hard not to find any hands to play. What the fuck? That's insane. That is insane. That's actually crazy. What the fuck? What is what are these hands? Come on, okay, come on, give us a spin now. For God's sake, Jesus. That's absolutely mental. 6-5 should not be in the middle here, by the way, guys. That's all right, nice hand. Was live cards. I hope we get another game with this guy. He absolutely demolished us. The King 9 hand was very good, to be fair. The rest was a little bit iffy. And ultimately, he had me in the zone. Kind of threw it away with the 6-5 off. I would say that was a pretty big leak too. I remember flopping a royal and getting donk jammed 3x into me before I went, how am I going to call? And well, that settles that. Perfect, mate. Perfect. That string of, like, when you're playing spins, when your head's up in spins and you get that shallow, you can run so much of the deck. To actually have nothing going there is pretty insane. Limping the button now. Got the perfect payoff card on the river as well. The absolute perfect payoff card on the river as well. Gives us 2 pair. Perfect night, nice hand. Well done, Senora. Vic is saying, Nick, what did you study pre-flop for spins? I actually created my own pre-flop material, buddy. Check it out, nickwalshtv.com/nickwalshtv shop. There are 2 levels. There's the more basic one, which actually isn't basic at all. And then the more advanced one if you want to have multiple sizings pre-flop as well. I built those completely myself, completely from scratch. I did all the solves myself. I actually found a pretty decent number of deviations from sort of conventional charts that I've seen in the past and I've worked from. The sizings in there are all my preferred sizings that I think are optimal after all the study that I've done for pre-flop. I built them completely myself. I used simple pre-flop, which also, if you buy the pack, there's a little README file in there. It's actually a link to a video. The video is called Quick Start Guide or something like that. And basically I explain about how I created them, but also how you can view them in the solver for free. So if you get the pack, I've screenshotted all of the images so that you can browse the sort of actual solve relatively easily on your desktop. However, if you want to actually go in and then see the correct frequencies and also open it up in the browser and traverse the nodes from there, you can do that for free. You can download Simple Preflop for free, and you can do like a view-only version where you drag and drop the files in and then you can see it in the solver. So it's got everything you need for pretty much every single situation in Spin and Goes. It is extremely extensive. Yeah, the play with ace-5 here is wrong as well. This is probably another indication of the blue tag. Like, the limp with aces is unconventional. There are some really good players that do actually utilize those sizing, or sorry, that strategy, and that's fine. Can we hold? Oh, nice. If you are going to have limps, there are ways to make it work. If you are doing it as a pure exploit, from a GTO perspective, there's almost no limping whatsoever. The min-raise call with ace-5 is probably a pretty big leak as well. The shove with ace-5 is much better. You don't want to induce people shoving against you when you have ace-5. It was odd to me because I'd limp and call in the big blind more. Limp and call in the big blind? Can you limp and call in the big blind? Do you mean blind v blind? Do you mean small blind versus big? Nathan saying, will you only play spin stay? Yeah, we're probably only going to be online for another 30 minutes or so as well. Wasn't actually planning on playing any poker today. But ultimately we ended up in a situation where the replay was the server restart, excuse me, was a lot faster than expected. So I thought we'd jump on and put in a short session. No problem, Vic. I'm here for you, bud. Lots of aggression late game here. Lots of pickups. But yeah, the preflop chart material, if you're interested, there's also a discount code on Discord. Very, very popular, very, very effective, and one-time purchase, then you have access forever.
Actually, if only
Thank you
there
very
was
much,
someone
Black Elf, for the follow.
was an expert.
Took you
at
long
sub
enough, buddy. I
25
mean,
big
what
blind,
kind of a friend doesn't follow your friends' Twitter, Twitch, YouTube? Blinds are up. We do actually limp blind v blind quite a lot. No, I understand what you're saying. No, all good. No need to apologize. There is quite a lot of limping, to be fair. You are supposed to randomize quite a lot of it, though, as well, because it's pretty skewed. I do have a tendency to actually overfold in that position, but it's usually because there are specific combinations that I don't play very well post-flop. Pretty unlucky there towards the end of the game, guys. Just a couple all-ins, no good. Let's get into our next match. Good game for us, though. Pretty standard stuff. All right, 4x multiplier. Let's do it. Thank you, Black Elf. How you doing, mate? I miss you, by the way. I haven't seen you for ages. Black Elf, Ireland awaits, buddy. Ireland awaits.
Actually, if only there was someone that
Thank you for the follow.
was
Appreciate
an expert
it.
at sub 25 big blind.
That was 70.
That's your voice.
70s cat. Gaux, thank you for the follow.
Actually, if only there was
810
someone
followers.
that
Can you believe
was
it,
an
guys?
expert at sub 25 big blind.
Washed up boomerang immo.
That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
It'd be funny if it wasn't true. Panagos, thank you for the follow as well. Welcome. Good to see you.
Actually, if only there was someone that was an expert at sub 25 big blind.
That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
Watch me ISO this guy. 8 deuce offsuit. Let's go. Yeah. Now you mention it, though, as well. The fact that there's no antes does change the strategy quite a bit. There's just so much more dead money to play for, whether you decide to limp or, you know, or alternative as well, of course. How good can he be playing no anti-push? No anti-poker, exactly. Fish game. You excited about Ireland? Does he have a 4? Does he have a 4? What is he checking on the turn that he's overbetting on the river? Does he have a 4? The answer is yes, he does. Yeah, absolutely. This one is actually really close. Let's just do this. This makes best sense, I think. Running into aces is usually not great. Jack ball. Jack ball. Nice hand, bro. We got a hero called, and then he just rewards him with aces. Absolutely dream. This is probably an overcall, to be honest. Oh, gross. How many king queens in this deck? World class folds. Yeah, interesting poker there. We do, in fact, find the monumental hero call and then immediately get punished running into aces. Think this might be better. Sometimes we're just going to shove into the nuts here, but like calling seems bad, folding seems bad. Wish me luck. Here we go. Yeah. It's not good, but it's not the worst. All but day one. Wow. Huge sesh, Rick. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Short stacked with no cards. Bummer, dude. What the fuck? Guys, this is a very disproportionate amount of sub 10 big blind effective unplayable hands. Getting wonks is fun. What is going on today? Our red line is going to take such a beating. Here we go. We can play this one. We can play this one. We can play this one. Woo, back in the game. All right, now the heads-up navigation here, guys. The heads-up navigation. I'm actually going to make a weird fold here. Computer says yes. My brain says no. Should we just try and take Jack High to showdown? Confident Jack High check on the river for value. We're trapping this, by the way. If he shoves, we're snapping it off, guys. Snappy, snappy. For the Hundo Dolares. We will check raise this flop. Really small. If he shoves, we got to call. If he does that, we're still calling. Possibly the worst flop of all time. I want to win $100. Can I win $100? I want to win $100. This is funny. Was this the first time he limped heads up? Doesn't matter. We're gonna call the shove. We're gonna shove versus the limp. It's standard as hell. Next game, please. All right, probably last game before we finish up, guys. We do have one hand marked for review really quick after this that I just want to look at in GTO Wizard once Poker Stars is off. I want to win $100. Can I win $100? I'd like to win $100. One sec, guys. Bluffin is asking, what age did I get into poker? Good question. So my family used to play poker around the kitchen table when I was super duper young for pennies. We were never allowed to play as kids, but it was always sort of in my life for that reason. Didn't know the rules until I was probably, 17, 16, something like that. At that point, obviously, also wasn't really playing. $25 buy-ins, buddy. Please check the river. Please. Oh, this guy's never bluffing. You win, sir. And then I really started actually playing the game like for money when I was around 19-ish, maybe a little bit older, which here in the United Kingdom is legal. All right, I'll try and update the client, Tom. Should auto update. Let me see if I can find it though. One sec. properties. Copy. That's not right. It's a nice turn. It's a pretty annoying river. It's a pretty annoying river. Wow. Massive cold deck there. Massive cold deck there. The river should have saved me. Yeah, I started playing poker around university-ish time, and then kind of fell in love with the game. Mr. F over on YouTube is asking, "Hey Nick, what was the biggest multiplier you've ever seen while playing Spin and Goes?" The biggest I've ever seen. There is a command on Twitch, by the way, and a picture of it is $150,000. I hit a $150,000 jackpot in 2017, I believe it was. I think it was 2017. Yeah, you won't be able to see the command because it's over on Twitch. But if you get on Twitch, there's a link to the actual picture of it. Nice. That's a really good setup for us. Oh, it's a really bad turn. All right, let's get one more game in. That was pretty unsatisfying. Very unsatisfying. I feel so unsatisfied. What's up, Lil Maku? All right, 3x multiplier to finish up today. We'll take a look at one hand for review after we've closed stars, and then we'll call it quits for today. My next stream, guys, will be on Friday, by the way, while we're all still here. I'll be streaming from the Hippodrome Casino in Leicester Square in London for Hippodrome Live. We'll be covering a 5-10 cash game all night long, potentially higher stakes as well. If you guys don't already follow the Hippodrome, please go give them a look. Give them a follow. It's on YouTube. It's a brand new channel, so it needs to have a lot of love. It needs a little bit more growth. I'm going to have a conversation with KJ on Friday as well about starting to get some shorts going from there. And then also, am going to take a look at getting their thumbnails and stuff sorted out on the YouTube, so it's a little bit easier to peruse if you guys want to watch old streams. I want to win $100. I'm gonna win $100. Ah. Have I considered not getting too outed? I have considered it before, Black Elf, but I've never fully committed to it. Oh yeah, Raksha did post on YouTube. It's too good. Way too fast. Rightus, no, I am not in an EV pool. No, I've never been in an EV pool. I personally don't actually have any issues with it at all. I know people who are very reputable. It's difficult to explain how an EV pool works without it sounding like collusion, but it's actually the exact opposite. Like everybody there is. There's nobody in a situation like that in an EV pool. There's nobody that benefits from collusion in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they're in direct competition with each other. Like directly in competition with each other. Like they actually would prefer that everyone else does really badly, basically. It is advantageous for pools to collectively do pretty good. But no, I've never been a part of one. I might consider joining one if... No, I don't know. It's not really for me in my current position. I've never really given it too much thought. I think checking is much better. The jack will still value bet. The hearts will bluff. The straight draws will bluff. I think the check is better than the bet here. We lose the minimum against Queen 5 as well. That's another cold deck against us. That is another really brutal cold deck today in our very short session so far. Ugh, disgusting. When I go to Brighton, I just check Twitch. If he's not on, it's him. Exactly. I will be in London on Friday, yes. You're right, actually. I should have pinged you. Do you want to play some cash on Friday? I'm not sure what time I'll get to London, though. I probably won't get there until quite late. I'm trying to get there for like 4 or 5. And then I'll be streaming from 7. Pretty easy push. Can I grind it back after the cooler? That hand probably should have bankrupted us most of the time. Why are you limping? I did mention it yesterday on stream, by the way. That's your fault. That's on you, Black Elf. That's on you, Yosef. Yosefi. Straight. Nice hand, bro. All right, cool. Let's close up stars for today. I know it was a short session. If you guys are joining me for the first time, usually these sessions are like 3 or 4 hours long. Today, though, we're going to wrap things around now. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot more like this in the future. But like I said, guys, this week, my next stream is going to be on another channel. It's going to be at Hippodrome. Can we get a link in the chat, please, for Hippodrome Casino? They've set up a poker studio upstairs adjacent to the poker room. If you guys have never been to the Hippodrome, also, it's a fantastic casino to play some cash. Among other live events, we have had UKIPTs and similar from PokerStars over there. It's a PokerStars card room. They sort of sponsor or partner with that card room specifically. So we're going to be there. I think it's 7 p.m. onwards on the Hippodrome channel. They're going to be playing 5-10 cash, and we're going to try and do commentary and keep you guys entertained if you want to join us there. Let me close stars really quick, and then we'll take a look at this hand for review. It's important that when we're doing study, guys, especially if we're going to use programs like GTO Wizard, we need to be fully off stars and we need to adhere to the rules, and that's important. Let's fire up the graph. It's going to be pretty ugly today. Let's take a look at the graph. So today we played about 8 games. We're down about $50. We did manage to win some of our games. Nothing to report. Too small of a sample. Doesn't matter. This is just one very pathetic session. That doesn't mean a lot. As always, guys, what we want to do is turn our filters on specifically for custom filters. 1 second. What am I looking for? I'm trying to figure out where did I save? Is it still, it's there, isn't it? Oh yeah, cool. This one, yeah. All right, apply. There we go. That's the big graph. This is our spin and go chip results over time. This is over hands played. Winning a lot more than we're losing. That's important. And obviously, like I said, spin and goes are a long-term game for the most part. Unless you get lucky and get a big multiplier, you need to be consistent, and you need to keep that consistency going up, which we see here. So, with that being said, let's look at today specifically. And then let's look at marked hands. Oh, we've already got it here. Nice. That's a much easier way to do it, isn't it, guys? So marked hands here. I just wanted to look at the post flop on this one because I feel like these are spots where perhaps we are overfolding. There's a limp where about 19 big blinds effective, and it goes to ace, deuce, jack. My instinct is that we probably fold here without a backdoor with the king high. We might float with backdoors or something similar. I just wanted to look at this one really quick and see if we can glean any information. So just give me a moment, guys. Let me fire up the browser. Whenever I log in here, there's always some sensitive information that I would prefer not to dox myself. Oh, it's already open. Nice. So I do pay a subscription for the premium version of this. We don't have to look at this spot specifically, but why don't we start there? And then we'll go from there. So we're looking at spins. We're 18 big blinds effective, and that's 3-way. Heads up is better. There we go. Heads up, classic, 18 effective. All right, cool. So there has been a limp. A limp and then a check, and the board comes jack of diamonds, ace of spades, deuce of spades. All right, so we check, obviously range pretty much. Our opponent will bet 1 big blind, which is standard. So how many of our king X's? Wow, we're going to float with so many of our king X's here. This is actually maybe a considerable leak. This is part and parcel to why I want to look these ones up. I think probably we tend to overfold on boards like this. What's a bit strange to me in my sort of perception of how the game is actually played in real life and not versus a computer, my perception is that we probably, when we float with hands like king high, reg v reg, they probably tend to anticipate that we don't have an ace often because we haven't raised pre-flop, and they probably do 2-barrel bluff very often with most of the range. So let's just say theoretically, we've got king 5 of hearts. Look, it's almost 100% call here. There is a tiny bit of raising, which we're just going to completely ignore because it's basically non-existent. But we are overfolding in this spot, basically, as anticipated in our head, but not part of our game. So on these boards, let's say we float with king 5 of hearts specifically, and the turn is just like a complete brick. Like, let's say it's like the 5 of diamonds, right? The problem that I have is I feel like in these situations when we float with, let's say that we have king 4, so we haven't made a pair of 5s, right? King 4 of hearts or something like that. On this turn, we end up having, okay, that's stupid too. Let's say we have king 7, so we have no straight draw, we have no flush draw, we have king 7 of hearts, right? We have to check range again, which is fine. I just think that our opponent is supposed to barrel turn so aggressively that we end up getting blown off way more often than is possible to defend in real life against an unknown opponent. I guess against an unknown, they probably check back the turn a lot more often. But let's take a look at how often we're supposed to be barreling here as a player in position. So we're obviously betting a lot of our jacks for value. Some of our jacks we check. Queen 8 offsuit is still barreling here. Queen 9 offsuit is still barreling here. I think the reason why the Queen X likes to barrel is because we are blocking like hands like Queen Jack. We are blocking hands like Ace Queen. King 4, King 3 bets because they pick up a gut shot. That makes sense. And obviously it's also skewed where we're not going to have as much Ace X combos as well. So you can see that actually if we simplify the actions here, how do we do that again? There we go. So we are supposed to theoretically be facing a bet of some variety 38% of the time. There's more checking than I anticipated. 10-8 suited doesn't bet. 10-7 suited doesn't bet. I think it's a spot where maybe we're skewing the results in our head because of how aggressive we are in these situations, which is probably good in real life, and that's probably part of our edge against real humans. But it is interesting to see how often computer is checking. It's a little bit more than I thought it would be. If we switch over to, ignore that. Oops, stop doing that, Nick. There we go, that's better. And then we go to grouped. Check, bet medium, bet large. There's an overbet quite often. That's interesting. Let's look at the actual sizings here. So the most frequent turn sizing actually is probably also telling. 4.5 bigs into 4. And that's probably in anticipation of the fact that we are on the shallower side. We are on the deeper side, excuse me. We're trying to get the pot bigger when we actually do have very strong hands. So what the overbet is doing in this situation is we're getting more money in when we have a strong hand, but it's allowing us to bluff extremely effectively when we have very weak stuff as well. So Queen 4 off, if we go specifically just to this one, we're continuation betting extremely big when we've turned 2 pair with 5 deuce. We're doing it with when we've actually made a straight here as well, 4-3. When we've turned a set, we're doing it with hands like 8-4 off, which is no hand with a gut shot, 9-4 off with a gut shot. So in real life, it's questionable as to whether or not people are actually utilizing this size at all, which again kind of skews the strategy to a certain degree in real life. But it is an interesting quandary. So how do we actually turn this into sort of real life? I guess we need to be floating more often with the king highs on this texture in general, right? Because if the computer is doing it at that frequency, it means it's definitely a mistake not to. But then do we play well enough in the streets that follow in order to really benefit? And that's a really big question in my brain still. King Jack suited is still going big. King Jack suited is still going really big. Spades is basically doing the same thing. It's just a little bit more frequent at the stack depth. Interesting. I'll have to look at this one offline a bit more because there's a lot to break down here. Just out of interest, though, if we go back to flop, we're betting range. That's fair. We're betting range here in position, obviously. That's always what we're going to do on this board, basically. Once we've bet, the defense range is going to look like this. Pretty much any king high. We're continuing with so many of our queen highs as well. Queen Jack, obviously. Queen 10 is still in there, of course. Queen 9 is still in there. Wow. Yeah, so basically, just in general, I think we're probably overfolding in this spot way too much. We need to look at this in more detail. We're check raising with our gut shots, obviously, like 5-4, 5-3. That's pretty standard. We're check raising with our 2 pairs, ace-4, ace-3, ace-deuce, but that's even not 100% frequency. Yeah, okay. This is definitely a leak that I've discovered that I'll have to look at a little bit more offline, but this is definitely interesting stuff. Yeah. Okay, that's just sparked something in my brain. I'm going to have to look at this offline, but this is definitely one that we need to give a little bit more thought to because we're definitely overfolding in this situation. So there you go, guys. That's one for review. So that's it for today, guys. Like I said, my next stream will be on Friday. That will be at the Hippodrome. There is a link in the YouTube chat and also in the Twitch chat now as well. If you want to give it a follow now, please do so. It needs love. It's a really, really good concept. Over time, it's going to improve in terms of the content, but also in terms of the output as well. I know that KJ is keen to get some YouTube shorts going from there as well, which will be great because if you don't have time to watch it, you can watch some of the replay action as well. And yeah, it's going to be good. And then the next stream after that will be on Monday for Sunday Million. I'm not sure who my guest is on Monday, but I'll let you guys know on my social media. Having said that, !Nick in the chat over on Twitch. Sorry, this is not for YouTube. You can get a link to my social media platforms. And I hope that you guys will join me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Check out my website, check out my charts and all that stuff if you want to get better at heads up and spinning goes. Very good resource. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hope you guys run good at the tables. I'll see you guys next time. See you guys.